Hello everyone and welcome to London Visited, and in this episode we're going to Fitzrovia, one of those places so many people have heard about but many people don't know. But where it's located, it's so easy to get to and one of those fantastic places to drop into. It's a really rich neighbourhood as well. Being rich and being one of those neighbourhoods with lots and lots of history, it really is one of these intriguing places to come to if you're in central London. And when I say in central London, it couldn't be easier to get to. It's hardly possible if you've been to London, you may have popped into Fitzrovia without even knowing it. It's north of Oxford Street, that's its southern boundary. It's just south of the Euston Road. Gower Street, which goes parallel with Tottenham Court Road, is on the east side, and to the west side, well, it's almost just behind the BBC and Regent Street, and it's got some great places to visit, including this, the Chapel of Fitzrovia, which is all gold gilded, which is absolutely beautiful. So we're going to show you in this video different places to visit here in Fitzrovia. Now this golden chapel is open for visiting, but you need to go searching for it online to find out which days it's open. Normally it's Wednesdays, but quite often they have art collections in here, so it's one of those great places to come. The chapel itself was originally attached to University College London. Now University College London still exists and it's just off the Euston Road at the top of Tottenham Court Road, and is a great school for those that are wanting to come and practice medicine. The area of Fitzrovia itself is a real unique blend of Bohemian spirit, sort of literary heritage, and also modern vibrancy. It's one of those places you walk down and you think, yeah, you've got to come back here again because there's so much you can come and visit. From Fitzrovia's artistic roots to its thriving food scene, Fitzrovia has got so much to share. So the great thing about it is you can come back time and time again, grab a cup of tea or maybe a glass of wine or something stronger from the many pubs it's got, and you can come back and explore many a time and have great places to come and rest between. Now speaking of pubs, it's rather coincidental, but the name of Fitzrovia comes from the pub the Fitzroy Tavern, and back in the early 20th century this pub was a hub for artists, writers and intellectuals, earning the area's now iconic moniker. But the history of this place goes well beyond that. Fitzrovia has always been a haven for creative minds, and its proximity to the British Museum and also the University of London meant it naturally attracted those with a passion for art, literature and also intellectual discourse. But Fitzrovia isn't just about the past, it's a really vibrant area, living neighbourhood with a thriving present, and a huge part of that is the incredible food and drink scene as you've seen as we're just walking up this street alone. Now what makes this area really fascinating is its proximity to Oxford Street. Literally, Oxford Street borders the southern part of it. But the thing I love most about Fitzrovia is its independent spirit. And here you won't find as many chain stores as you might find in other parts of central London. Instead here you'll discover a wealth of unique boutiques, art galleries and also independent shops. So if that's the sort of thing that you fancy, you've come to the right area. Fitzrovia is built around a couple of major streets. You've got this one, which is Great Titchfield Street. You've also got Great Portland Street, Charlotte Street. But as I was saying, the independent aspect of it, and you may well recognise this, we've been here several times. It's a coffee shop which is built down below. It's an old toilet block, and actually it's one of those places, well, don't knock it until you've been there. It's fantastic for coffee. Now whilst we're looking at the architecture in the 18th and the 19th centuries, Fitzrovia was a fashionable residential area, attracting wealthy families and building its characteristic Georgian architecture. And if you can see, if you look up above these shops, you can see the elegant townhouses that they've got now lining many of the streets here in Fitzrovia today. And we're going to go to Fitzroy Square soon, where they've got some absolutely amazing places. But also you've got big blocks of flats, which, well, don't resemble blocks of flats. Nothing like it, anything else you find in central London. I think another thing that makes Fitzrovia one of those really interesting places to come to and really fascinating is the blend of the old and the new. It really is one of those neighbourhoods that honours its past whilst also building buildings and putting things up here and thinking about the future. And these side streets are just testament to that. As you'll know if you've been a subscriber to this channel for quite some time, I always say when in London, look up and just look at the building in the middle of the screen which we're approaching now and its architecture. It really just stand out here on the corner. Of course, above a pub as well. Okay, we're coming into Goode Street. Yes, of the same name as the underground station. So if you wonder where that is in London, it's here just off Tottenham Court Road. And also, you can't help but notice wherever you are in Fitzrovia, you really have got the BT Tower looking down on you. And of course, very soon, that is to be changed into a hotel. And hopefully with a revolving restaurant in it as well. As mentioned earlier, it's a great place for eating and drinking, and you've got lots and lots of independent places down here. Just ignore that Nando's that's over the road. Yes, there's always an exception to the rule, but also quite often you've got street markets, street vendors selling food here during busy lunch times. And also you've got alleyways just waiting to be explored, like this one over the road. Tell you what, let's take a dive down there. Now Charlotte Street is just around the corner and we're going to dive up there in just a couple of seconds, but down this alleyway, this is called Charlotte Place, another little place to come and get lost in as well. And at the very end of Charlotte Place, you've got the Duke of York pub, which is, well, interesting in its own because there are many Duke of York pubs, but this one, until very, very recently, had current Duke of York Prince Andrew on there, until unfortunately he was in the news yet again, not for the right purposes, and they've taken down the board with the picture on. But we've still got it video here, and we've got the original board that they have hanging up. There he is. I think the reason that Fitzrovia is one of those, well, little treasures that not many people recognise is because when people come to London, they tend to hit Oxford Street. They tend to go to the shops, the big chains and that down Oxford Street. But you're not going to believe we are literally a 30-second walk from Oxford Street where we are standing now. And look how quiet it is. But look at all these great places you can eat as well. And if you fancy chocolate, I highly recommend that chocolate shop on the corner. Now, I've mentioned a couple of times that Fitzrovia is famous for its food, from Michelin-starred restaurants to cosy pubs, serving up the classic British fare. But Fitzrovia's got something for every palate. And here, in Charlotte Street in particular, is an absolute foodie paradise. And just have a look at the wide, diverse range of international cuisines on offer here, plus also set up, expanded so you can sit in the road as well. Oh, and there you go. There's the BT Tower once again. Now, up on the left-hand side here, this green building is the Charlotte Hotel. And doesn't that look like a lovely place to come and stay in? And here on Charlotte Street, right in front of us, we've got the Fitzroy Tavern that we talked about earlier, which is what this whole area took its name after. So if you fancy popping in, or once you've been to the hotel over the road, and you fancy popping into this pub, the Fitzroy Tavern, you can sit back, have a drink, and think about the history that this area has been created thanks to this place. Now, the lovely thing about just going for a stroll, going into a particular area and sort of sucking up the culture and getting the feel for it is really just going for a walk down the street. And when you do that, you come across, well, these beautiful independent shops. There's a flower shop that you've got here, but also as you go down there, not only do you find other restaurants and other independent shops, but you've got some great little side passages to go down, which, well, once again, so many people miss. And Colville Place, coming up here on the right hand side, is just another one of those. It's little houses, but just look at all the flower pots have been put outside, and even in the rain it looks beautiful. And if you're looking at these houses thinking, wow, aren't they beautiful? I wonder how much they are. Are you ready? Go on, have a guess. I'm going to put it up on the screen in just a couple of seconds, just to let you know the last one. Price the last house went for down here. Yeah, you're not going to get much change from a couple of million. So if you're thinking of doing tonight's lottery numbers, there you go. Keep reserve that money and you could come and find a house when it's for sale down here. Not that they actually go on for sale that often. Right, back onto Charlotte Street. More restaurants, more great views of the BT Tower looking down upon you. And then we're going to pop into Goodge Street and then Tottenham Court Road, which of course is in the heart of Fitzrovia as well. Now, Tottenham Court Road is one of those places many people have heard of, and normally because of the underground station with so many different lines interchanging there. I hope now you're sort of getting the feel for what Fitzrovia is all about. Yeah, independence, definitely, but also great places to eat and drink as well. So if it's lunchtime and you fancy a go round and actually, do you know what, going to give something different a go, definitely come round to Fitzrovia. You'll certainly find something of your fancy round here. So earlier we saw the Fitzroy Tavern, which gave its name to the area of Fitzrovia, and now you've got a pub that's taken its name from the area, the Fitzrovia itself. There you go. Looks like it's one of those places well worth popping in for a drink. Why not whilst you're walking round? Can you imagine if you visited all the pubs, did a pub crawl in Fitzrovia? You'd never stand again for days. So Goodge Street then leads out onto Tottenham Court Road, which is definitely one of the main roads in central London. Now, Tottenham Court Road itself was actually a manor, and it was mentioned back in the Domesday Book as belonging to the Dean and the Chapter of St Paul's Cathedral in the time of Henry III. That's about 1216. A manor house sat slightly northwest of what is now the corner of Tottenham Court Road and Euston Road, right at the very top, and it belonged at the time to William de Tottenham. In about the 15th century, the area was known variously as Totten or Tottenham or Totting Hall, and after it changed hands several times, the manor was leased for 99 years to Queen Elizabeth I, and it came to be probably called Tottenham Court. The land itself passed to various kings and queens, and in 1639 the land was leased to Charles I. Following his execution 10 years later, it was then sold to Ralph Harrison. Now it regained crown ownership upon the restoration of the monarchy, where it was given a 41-year lease to Charles II. Now, for a road and an area of central London, there is so much history, and if you fancy finding out a bit more, we have done a whole series of podcasts on different parts of London, and one of them was exclusively on Tottenham Court Road. So I'll put a link to that up in the top right hand corner, so if you really want to find out the history of Tottenham Court Road itself, click on that and you'll be able to hear all about the history of Tottenham Court Road. And as you can see, we've got friendly people selling street food who want to be on video as well. As you get past this Costa Coffee, you come round the corner and you find the Fitzrovia mural. Now, most people will probably walk past or just see something on the side there and think it's a bit of graffiti. Actually, this was created back in 1980 and painted by Mick Jones and Simon Barber, and it looked over this piece of common ground and was gifted to Londoners for use as an open space. Now, the space, which is Whitfield Gardens here, is now a place to sit and relax for shoppers needing to take a rest or tourists just exploring the area. The content of the mural itself contains themes from an era when it was actually painted and retains memories from the time as a result. And right by the side of it, you can actually see a guide which has been put up showing all the different people and what they represent and what it's all to do with Fitzrovia. So actually come down and have a look. And of course, you've got all these little side streets to come and explore as well. back onto Tottenham Court Road and you've got two big department stores. You've got Hills, which is a furniture store, plus you've got other things you can come and have a look at whilst you're down here as well, all in front of Goodge Street Station. Now, Goodge Street Station's worth pointing out because can you see this station? It's all got the ox blood red tiles on it, which means it's a station designed by Leslie Green, who was a famous architect at the time and designed a number of stations, including those down at Covent Garden as well. Worth taking a look at. And a little bit of tube history. The area of Fitzrovia itself is full of blue plaques. Here we're on Fitzroy Square under the gaze of the BT Tower, and on this square, and you'll see it a little bit later, some blue plaques mark the homes of Virginia Woolf, who was a key figure in the Bloomsbury Group, a collective of writers, intellectuals and artists who significantly impacted British culture. Other famous blue plaques on here noting other great people that lived on the square include George Bernard Shaw, Dylan Thomas and also Arthur Ragman. I think one of the things that really does surprise a lot of people when they come to London, and they come to London for the first time, is just how green London is. And when you're in the bustling streets, you'll always find pockets of green space. And here in Fitzrovia, this is no different, and you get a welcome respite from the urban buzz here at Fitzroy Square, which is a great example of beautiful Georgian square with amazing architecture, peaceful garden in the middle, which is perfect for a relaxing stroll, or alternatively, when the gardens are open, a nice picnic in the middle. You can see why Fitzrovia is just one of those beautiful places to come to, and especially here at Fitzroy Square with that architecture, those beautiful houses all around Fitzroy Square, just looking down onto the green. And it just, well, with those balconies, it's one of those things where you can put a chair there and sit outside and enjoy. And you can also see on the other side of the road that some of these places have been turned into embassies as well. So as you can see there, we've got a couple of flags hanging out. So that's embassies now, which are here in Fitzroy Square. It's probably got to be said that if you really are looking for blue plaques, if you come to Fitzroy Square, you're certainly going to find them wherever you stand. So if you're one of those ones that likes to come and collect and see where people have lived from their history, this is definitely an area to come to. So thanks for joining us on this journey of Fitzrovia. Whether you're a London local or a visitor from afar, Fitzrovia is one of those excellent places, definitely well worth exploring, taking a stroll through the fantastic streets or discovering their hidden gems or immersing yourself in its unique atmosphere and its Bohemian heart at the middle of it. And as mentioned earlier, here's the blue plaque of Virginia Woolf, and above it that to George Bernard Shaw, who were both lived there at their different times. So I really hope you've enjoyed our look around Fitzrovia, one of those places people have heard of but think, hey, actually I'm not quite sure where it is, and don't realise just how close to Oxford Street it is. So I really hope you've enjoyed our tour around here. Now another great place which is almost adjacent to it is Bloomsbury, and our video on that is up in the top right hand corner, so if you click on that, I'll see you in there.